Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout that includes a ton of photos. I have all of these zoo photos that I have been procrastinating to scrapbook, and I finally found inspiration from some new canvas flares from Scrappin Happy Studio. And that kind of gave me inspiration for the color scheme, and so I kind of went with that. So what I did is I kind of went into my stash. I have some zoo collection from Echo Park, and I'm using very minimal of that actually. And then I think this is the Happy Days by My Mind's Eye, if I remember correctly. But the colors in this, the two must have been together in my storage where I store them, and the colors in that just match the canvas flares perfectly. This paper here is from that Echo Park collection. I can't remember what it's called. Jungle Safari, maybe. I am probably completely wrong. I apologize. It's an older one. But like I said, I used very minimal of it. So I don't usually include much pink in my boy layouts. But this was Princess Day at the zoo. My youngest was thrilled, loved Frozen, and so Anna and Elsa were there, so that's kind of why we went. But I actually think this is my oldest. Yeah, this is me documenting my oldest trip to the zoo that day. So as you can see, I am trying to include a ton of photos. I took so many and really did want to document them all. So what I'm going to be doing is I am actually going to be using some flip flaps from close to my heart, because I have even more photos that I want to include. When I go to the zoo, I take a ton of photos. But one thing I've been mentioning a lot lately is that my albums are just kind of getting out of control. They're super thick. I used to be able to get away with one per year for each of my kids, and now it's turning into more. And I don't know what they are ever going to do with that many albums. I don't know if they're ever going to even want them. So I kind of need to try to get more photos on the pages, or kind of document less small things, I guess. I don't know. So here are the canvas buttons that I kind of went off of with the color scheme. I'm sorry for the reflection of my light. You should, when I take them out, you should be able to see them a little bit better. But here are some of the embellishments, the ephemera from, I think it's Happy Days from My Mind's Eye. And some of them worked really well for the zoo. So there's the sunglasses, and then kind of some leaves, some jungle looking leaves. I got inspiration from this for this layout, and kind of the placement of the photos from, I can't remember now, somebody on Instagram, I believe. So I can't take full credit for this one, but unfortunately right now I'm drawing a blank of who it was. And so on that layout, she had kind of constructed her own title, or at least it looked that way. So that's what I wanted to do here with mine. I went in my stash of alphas and found a pretty teal color and just added it to a white piece of paper, made it into a flag, and that's going to kind of go at the top there. One thing with this layout that is not kind of my normal, I am going to leave a lot of open space on the left hand side. Pretty much I'm going to do the title and add some embellishments around the title, but leave the rest of the stripe paper empty. So that is something that is kind of more difficult for me, I guess. But I liked the look of it with the layout that I am kind of scrap lifting, and so I decided to kind of stick with the same. I didn't want just the white title at the top, and so what I did is added kind of another layer to that with that leaf paper from the Jungle collection, and kind of went with that. So here are the canvas flares. Again, I kind of went with the pinks because there was some pink in the flares, and just kind of went with that, which I loved. So I'm going to add kind of the leaves to the title at the top there, and add I guess you could call it a flag. It's almost like an arrow one there. In the middle of those photos, I didn't realize I cut the photos down, I must have, and left a little bit of a white space there, which I wasn't in love with, and so I tried to kind of fill that in with that little cluster. I loved that little monkey. I thought it was just so cute. It says hanging around. And then I added a phrase sticker on that little arrow embellishment piece that says let's go. So once I kind of did that, I move on to page 2. But like I said, I kept it so simple. I added some more of the canvas flares. I knew that with this layout, I wanted to kind of just go crazy with them. It's kind of why I bought them, because I had been struggling with how to scrapbook this. And so I just kind of went with it. So the placement of those flares is actually going to be on the outside of my layout. They are directly on the flip flaps, and my flip flaps will go onto my page protectors. So that is one nice thing with those. You can embellish right directly on them. You can embellish under them. I have kind of done a surprise embellishment cluster under them because I didn't have extra photos, and it just worked out really nice. So you can really do, I don't know, create how you want with the flip flaps. It almost gives you extra creative space, I guess. I decided to make my own journaling tag for the right hand side, just to journal a little bit, because obviously you can tell it's at the zoo, but I wanted to explain about Princess Day at the zoo and that kind of thing. And so I decided to make my own tag. I did kind of use my Distress Oxide on the outside of that, and I missed it on the Zoo Days tag as well. I used a Distress Oxide to kind of scuff up the edges in a pink color. And then instead of using twine or anything for my tag, I decided to use enamel dots and use enamel dots all around my layout as well. So if I'm going to do a tag and don't want to use twine, what I will do is add some sort of embellishment, whether it be an enamel dot, a puffy sticker, that kind of thing. I will do that over the circle, or in this case, I didn't even punch the circle. I didn't even bother. I just added it to it. So I'm going to add that. As you can see, I added a sticker down there as well, but I wanted to kind of spruce that up even more and added one of the mini epoxy flares from Scrappin Happy Studio as well down there. And honestly, we are just almost done with this layout. Came together pretty quickly for all of the pictures and everything that I included on this layout. So on the sticker sheet, there were more leaves, I guess. Sorry, drew a complete blank. So I added that to the tag cluster on the right hand side, but then I also have the chipboard stickers, and there was a nice bright flower with some leaves, and so I decided to add that to my title cluster as well. So I think that is just about going to finish off my layout. Oh, I forgot. So I had initially put a couple of stripes of the paper under where I put that journaling tag, and decided I wanted to kind of separate the photos from the two busy papers, and so I did end up adding just a couple of thin strips down, so it looks like it goes all the way down the paper when indeed it doesn't, but I just felt like that kind of helped break it up a little bit, like I did on page 1 as well. So that is going to be the final touch of the layout. I'm going to replace where I'm going to add the flip flaps there. You can kind of see how they're going to work. But that's going to finish off the layout. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have a link for Scrappin Happy Studio down below. I am loving all of the Flair buttons that she has, so definitely check her out. There's so many options. Let me know if you do think I should add anything to maybe the bottom left hand side of page 1 where the stripe paper is. I know it's more open than I'm used to, so if you think I should add something, let me know, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.